Good evening, gentlemen. A tough day in the office. Coach Stick, Munster were able to convert most opportunities in your guys' red zone. They were able to play free-flowing rugby. Something I asked during the week was the impact of an out-and-out fetcher. Do you think you guys missed a fetcher tonight to slow the Munster ball at the breakdown?
Not really, Nathan. One thing we have to be honest about, they've played the conditions very well. You can see they're used to it. Not to say we're making excuse about it, I have to compliment them. You could see they're used to the conditions, so I don't think it's got anything to do with us not having a specialist fetcher, It's just that they had a plan, and we knew if we're going to give them soft entries in our half, they will probably capitalize it. And true, the stats says it that they're very good when it comes to the line-out attack, So we have to give credit to them. And but once again, I must also say to my boys, they kept on fighting until the end. One or two calls maybe didn't go against us. If you really look at also Suleiman, where he was close to score a try, went to do touch, that could have maybe changed a bit of the game in a game, and also the driving modes that we had just before halftime. I think that was a turning point of the game where it gave them energy. If we converted that opportunity maybe into 7 points, it could have been a different game. But once again, we don't want to make any excuses. We must give credit to Mans.
Ashfaq?
Hi guys. Stocker, just in terms of the forward dominance, there was good scrum penalties and you won your lineouts as well. But just from there, it seemed like there was quite a bit of kicking, especially from the halfbacks. I know you guys sometimes try and emulate the Springbok style of play, but in a tour game like this, do you think the guys could have had a bit more of a go with ball in hand?
Yeah, Ashfaq, I think our guys, they actually started by looking for opportunities first. They tried to play. It's just that if you see the errors that we've made, it tells that okay, a lot of our players, they've got a lot to learn when it comes to playing the conditions in the Northern Hemisphere. Munster kicked well in the first half. They put the kicks behind us, and they've applied pressure on us where we couldn't really attack from deep. So it's not like we didn't try. But the game drivers, which is our 9s and 10s, the main thing for them was to put us in the right areas, but once again, we didn't execute that plan very well in the first half, as we saw, and we gave them soft penalties with the offsides, and they got a 22-meter entry in our half, and they've capitalized from it. So I think that was a difference in the game. If let's say, for example, we cut by one try, or maybe we converted the opportunity we had later in the first half, it could have been a different ball game. So, but again, like I said, the boys, they came second half, they gave everything, set pieces like you saw, but it's just that we were inconsistent. So I don't know if maybe it's from our side, or maybe, I don't know. I'm not really a scrum expert, but there were a couple of times where I felt like we had dominance, but we didn't get rewarded, So it's a funny game. Certain things didn't go your way, and then but for Munster, I think we must give credit to them.
Jan?
Thank you, Zina. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Muzandile. Muzandile, I think we've heard this refrain now the whole year. It's come through the Springbok team. We've had it starting at the Wales series and then the rugby championships. Now we've still got it. We keep talking about not taking opportunities. It's like a trend that's going through all the national teams. And I know it sounds overly critical, but I mean, it doesn't seem to improve. When will this start improving, that the teams actually start taking the opportunities, and we don't sit in every press conference where we hear it's just because we didn't take our opportunities,
I think, Jan, when you talk about the team that played today, we're talking about the new team. So if you wanna take the guys that missed the opportunities today to the Springbok team, I don't think it's fair for them, because it was the first time them playing as a team, So we can't take them on something that was done by the main team, So I don't think it's fair for the guys that played today because of, once again, if you look around, like Fasi, Henko Fenta, Suleiman, and Leon Zas, it's the first time actually they're getting an opportunity. So it will be unfair to say, okay, they also falling in that trap, Today, the opportunities were there. if we converted the line out just before halftime, it could have been a different ball game, where it's a 7-point. And Suleiman in the second half, just in touch, just before when he had a chance to score a try, went to do touch, so it is what it is. And the game of sport, the game of rugby is all about opportunities. And that's exactly what Munster did. They converted the opportunities. And that's exactly what we wanted to create. We wanted to create opportunities. And I'm just glad that the guys did create opportunities. But I hope all of us will learn from it. Even the youngsters that also played today, they'll probably also learn from it.
Yeah, I understand. Just as a follow-up, I appreciate that this is a team that hasn't played together. But we're talking about a general trend in South African rugby where it almost seems like the skills level is not there to take those opportunities. It's not like the first time that the players have played in the rain. Maybe Thomas can answer here. How difficult is it to adjust, or what seems to be the issue that we don't take these opportunities?
Yeah, listen, Jan, I hear exactly what you're saying, but I think there's valid points going both ways. This team was really thrown together. We had 2 days worth of training, and I think to get a certain level of cohesion with the team, it does take time. Although, like Coach Stalker said, we're not making excuses for it. There's just a feel in rugby. And unfortunately, when you look from the side or on TV, you don't really understand that feel. And that makes it's difficult to explain, but a team that plays together for a long period of time, they start getting that cohesion, and then they understand each other, and they understand each other's positive points and negative points, and then a team like Munster can capitalize on that because they know each other. They've been playing in the same system for years, and some of these players have been playing together for years. So we're absolutely giving credit to Munster for that. Although we're not blaming it on anyone, we're taking it on the chin.
Thank you very much, guys.
Justin?
Thank you, Zina. Good evening, gentlemen. Good morning from South Africa. Coach Tucker, for you, just a quick one. Notably, yes, very little preparation time ahead of this Munster game. You now have some more time with the players and the biggest squad. Sort of what will be the learnings and the focus moving forward ahead of that Bristol game that you would look to just bring to these bunch of players, young and old, to get onto that same page and hopefully just have an improved performance against the Bristol side?
I think one thing, the biggest learning for me personally is that when you play against the Northern Hemisphere team, territorial game is very important. If you don't play in the right areas, you're gonna get punished. And they're very, very good at sensing the opportunity, where they capitalize from it. And if you saw in the first half, I don't think one thing that I feel like we need to improve, and as a team, we think we need to kick in our terms, because there were a couple of times we were supposed to get into the kicks, but we didn't really get into the kicks. Even at times when we did kick, I think the execution wasn't really proper because of, if you look at how Munster counter-attack from some of the kicks in the first half, where we didn't really apply pressure in the air. We didn't actually also apply pressure through tackle, and they've managed to get line breaks from it. And we could see that they wanted to keep the ball alive there. I think they did very well in that sense. So once again, we had a plan, but we didn't really execute it very well. And I think also playing in the right areas also probably is one thing in the first half that also let us down.
Nathan?
Thank you again, Zina. Coach, can you just comment on how the so-called bomb squad were able to turn things around in terms of energy and intent, especially the forwards on the bench? Some positive signs there.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, after the game, that was one of the main things that I had to give credit to the team. They never stopped working. Even the guys that also started, that also went all the way to finish the game, they kept on fighting. But once again, you've mentioned the guys that came off the bench. They really brought some massive energy. If you look at the amount of carries Kumuzo Nocho had, and also look at the impact then with ball in hand, that he had, and also a young lighty like Andre Hugo kept on getting into a lot of battles, and we have to give credit to those boys, and that's one thing that I enjoyed about today's game. Even though we went on the right side of the scoreboard, but the boys, they really did show that warrior mindset where they kept on fighting until the end. And but once again, it was the crowd. It was crazy. They really gave their home team some energy. And a lot of our youngsters probably they will learn from this. and they'll actually understand what it means to come and play, probably against one of the top side in the island, and sometimes we tend to forget about the opportunity that probably that the guys, if you look at Suleiman, who was playing against Simon Zibo, someone who's got plenty of test matches and experience, so those are the positive things that we can take from this game, where a lot of our youngsters got to taste a bit of how to play against the top players,
And then last, sorry.
I'll come back to you, Nathan. Ashfaq?
Apelele, nice try there. It seemed like when you guys did have an opportunity to have a go, it was looking good. I know the conditions probably made handling a bit tough, but do you take confidence from that going into next week's game that you guys can even have more of a go?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot that we can build on. I think like what Thomas said, just having that cohesion in the team. I think going to next week, that's one thing that we obviously have to build on. And yeah, I think just we can take a lot of confidence out of this team. Like Coach Stick said, I think the boys, we fought until the end. And I think our attack was going forward when we were on the front foot.
And just quickly,
Nathan?
Thomas, just in terms of the scrums, you guys got good penalties there, and the lineouts functioned well. But as Coach Stoker said, those few mauls just before halftime, what do you think was the issue there that you guys just couldn't convert?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think we did get a lot of reward, but it didn't get rewarded in tries. Especially that last one. I think it was again. It's probably the amount of time that some of the guys have played together. Pepsi was ripping that ball, and Joseph Dweba was receiving it from him. And if you think about the amount of times that they've done that, and you compare it to the amount that the Munster guys have done it, then it's obviously significantly less. So we're obviously building on that, and I think our scrums and our mauls went very well tonight. So it's definitely an area where we will improve in next week, and definitely an area that we will target to improve.
Justin, is that another question from you?
Yes, please, just one in Afrikaans for Thomas.
Okay, that's good.
Thomas, net vir jou, in ter opsomming van julle vertoning vanaand, wat vir jou persoonlik en vir die span was die hoogtepunte gewees wat julle nou gaan gebruik om vorentoe te gaan voor die volgende wedstryd volgende week?
Ja, kyk, ek dink ons het baie 'n klomp positiewe goeders wat ons uit hierdie wedstryd uit kan vat. Ek dink ons scrums, ons mauls was baie goed geweest. Ek sal ook wel sê ons breakdown was goed geweest, want ek dink hulle het baie balle eintlik van ons af gesteel nie, en Munster is eintlik baie bekend vir 'n span wat baie goed op die grond is. So ek dink dis baie positiewe goeders. En ek dink daar's natuurlik goeders waar ons gaan werk. Ons gaan werk aan om die bal in die regte area van die veld te kry en daarso te speel in hulle onder druk te hou in hulle helfte van die veld. En dan ook ons dissipline. Ek dink ons moet regtig hard werk daaraan. Ek dink die hoeveelheid strafskoppe wat ons weggegee het was hopeloos te veel, veral vir hierdie vlak van rugby. En natuurlik dit is 'n area wat ons gaan uitlig en aan gaan werk.
Ross?
Thanks, Ina. How's it, guys? Stocker, you've spoken about the lack of cohesion, from the short period that you've had with the guys. Now, with a week to the Bristol game and a bit of better preparation time there, will you look to stick with sort of most of the same team that did business this week, or do you think you'll make a few changes to give more of the guys a run next week? What do you think your plan is there?
I don't think, Ross, we've got a luxury of making a lot of changes. If you look at our squad, we've got about 26 players, 25 players in our squad currently. So, yes, I would love to give the other guys also an opportunity, because of that I feel like these two games for me, it's for us as a team, it's all about giving guys opportunities to show what they can do. So I don't think it would be fair for us as coaches not to maybe give the other guys the opportunity, So, but once again, we're not promising anyone for game time. So we'll probably just have to go and review the game and see where we can maybe pick things around. But once again, I don't think there's a lot to change in our team because of, once again, like I said, if the guys can keep on fighting until the last minute of the game, and that is one thing that was positive about the game, where they kept on fighting. So I wouldn't falter them with that, So, but yeah, as a coaching staff, we'll go down and see again. We'll sit down and see where we can improve, and no doubt at all that maybe, next week it will get better, because of at least now the guys also, they understand the conditions. And like I said earlier on, I think the main thing is to make sure that firstly, play in the right areas, and then that's where we can at least start to play some good rugby.
And then Nathan, you can wrap it up.
Thank you, Zina. I just got two in this course, so just for content purposes. Pomoy i-Munster K anifaka phansi koxinzelelo banifumana kathathu phaa ephikweni bakora kabini. Bithini incoko nge-half time?
Incoko wena i-halftime tata into ebebalulekileyo ukuthi ukuba singabaniki opportunity bangene emhlabeni wethu. I think isiphoso sethu esenzile discipline yethu isilethe down kula first half. Kuba kaloku besibanika i-soft penalties bakwazi ungena ku-22 wethu, yabo, and bakwazile ku-capitalize. Babonile indlela abadlala ngayo, bane-confidence bona baziqhelile nee-conditions ezibadlala kuzo. So funeke sibancome noko bayenzile badlale kakuhle xa befumana opportunity bona bakwazi uyibhola bayihambise emaphikweni. Noko nabafana bethu bazamile kodwa but some there and there zibe khona nje iziphoso apho kufumaniseke bakhona ibhola sayinoka okanye ipasi ingangeni kakuhle esandleni. And nee-players zethu zizamile, buyajonga isephi sebesinayo umfana kaSuleiman watekliswa kutachi, yabona. So we were just unlucky ba ezinye i-calls khange zihambe kakuhle kakuthi, and namathuba ebesiwafumene khange sikwazi uwasebenzisa. Bonile nala line out besiyifumene just before half time, nakhona bangaba noko besikwazile uyiconverta la line out ebizasipha noko i-energy for i-second half sikwazi uphumelela igame. But kodwa ke la 3 tries sinikezele ngayo first half, I think yiyo le isichane kakhulu kulo mdlalo.
Weekend special xa nizogagana neBristol kule veki landline nizofuna ulungisa kweziphi indawo?
Njengobetshilo uCoach Dog, I think kicking game yethu kancinci. Ezinye izinto akho need sizilungise ke-attack. I think i-defense yethu if singaba ne-highline and sikwazi ukuba stop apha, then I think singabakwazi ukuba right.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
course.
That's our press conference. Have a super evening, and we'll be sending out the recording shortly. Thank you.